you guys are invited, sisters are invited to sit in the back. The back musalla is open for you. So for brothers who are in the back, just a heads up and a caution. So yeah, the sisters, they can move on to the back musalla. Alhamdulillah, we're fortunate as Tucson, as a community, to have Shaykh AbdulBary Yahya with us tonight. Shaykh AbdulBary Yahya is from Vietnam. I studied in Islamic Center of Medina and did extensive studies there. And then I went back to Vietnam to be the director and teacher for an organization in Vietnam, charity organization. Right now he currently resides in Seattle, Washington. He's the Imam al-Muslimin in Seattle, Washington. And he's also an Al-Maghrib instructor. He's, Allah blessed us with the opportunity to have him tonight. So, inshallah, I'm going to present it to him. That's what I told
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد. Alhamdulillah, it's nice to be here with nice weather. I think for the last 2 months in Seattle, maybe seen the sun twice. But I hear the rain is on its way over here, so well, I guess I'll have to go back to the rain anyways. But what is the most difficult hadith to apply? If I asked you that question, if I asked you, knowing all that hadith that you've heard, what is the most difficult one to really to apply and feel that you have given it to me? Maybe some of us have thought about it, probably most of us haven't thought about it. But one of the most difficult things to do is to really keep a balance in this life and the hereafter, with all the problems that we have, family problems, and school, and all kinds of things. One of the most difficult things is to really to be balanced. And that's why I think when we ask, I remember asking we asked him, what's difficult to apply? He responded, he said, with that which the Prophet ﷺ told him when he was, he didn't take, his wife was not taking care of herself properly, and Salman al-Farisi came to the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, told him of his prayers, his fasting, he would pray at night time, and then he would spend his daytime fasting. And when he asked his wife why she did not adorn herself for her husband, he said, because that does not need this. He does not need me. He has no need for this. There's no point in me adorning myself. So Salman al-Farisi, he was partnered with him about that. This is a partnership where Brotherhood of the Prophet established in Medina. And this is also not just to help them financially, also to remind each other also. So he knew that there's something wrong with him. So he went and informed the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to him, إِنَّ لِرَبِّكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا وَإِنَّ لِأَهْلِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا وَإِنَّ لِنَفْسِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقًّا فَأَعْطِ كُلِّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقًّا. He said, indeed, you yourself, Allah, your Lord has a right upon you. And your family, they have a right upon you also. yourself have a right upon yourself. So give each entity that is deserving of right its right. So each one that deserves a right should give him his right. So that's why sometimes we get confused. We don't know what to do, and it seems like the world is falling apart. And we don't really know what to focus on. And we don't know where to start, to put everything back together, because it seems like everything's falling apart. And a lot of the times it's because we don't really, think about some of the things that we're concerned about. Sometimes, because there's two types of concern. You're concerned about worldly matters, or you're concerned about the hereafter. And sometimes, if a person is not focused on the correct and proper things, their life becomes a pile of mess, just a mess everywhere. So, when you ask people, why are you here? Why are you here? It's a very, very simple question. Why were you created? What were you doing? What are you doing here? And if you can't answer that question, then your life is going to be a mess. If you cannot answer that question, your life is going to be a mess. It's like if you're playing soccer or basketball, whatever sport you may have, right? Hockey, basketball, soccer. If you were to take the goals out and then tell go play soccer, would you have a game? You wouldn't. The people are just running around in circles, passing this guy with no purpose. There would be no winners, there's no purpose, everyone's just running around. If you took the goals, there wouldn't be a game. And so, in life, a lot of people are running around in circles. They don't even know why they're here, what they're doing here. And they might feel like, hey, you know what? I think this is the purpose. But it's just like that soccer game. The purpose of the soccer game isn't just to pass. You don't get any points. You don't win just by passing. Okay, I'm going to just pass it like that. Yeah, I did it. So they don't really know the goals. So they're running, a lot of people are running around. And a lot of times you have family, you have school, your parents, and to take care of, to listen to, what do you do? All kinds, there are so many things that are going on. You might be confused. You don't know what to do. And this world, especially in this world, when a person is not focused, they don't really know what they're doing, then you'll see that their life becomes a mess. They start chasing after this and chasing after that. And it never ends, and all of a sudden death comes to its own. And then you start seeing the reality stuff and it hits. So what is that purpose? First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created mankind with jinn. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. I have not created the jinn, and mankind, except for my worship. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us to worship. But what is that worship? A lot of people, they think, oh, it's just prayer and zakat and stuff. But the term worship is more broad than that. It encompasses everything that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you have feelings of love towards your parents, that feeling itself, of hoping in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that itself is worship. And then sometimes there are words that you say. That's also worship. And actions that you do with your lips. That's also worship. Whatever you do that's pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's worship. And that is why we as Muslims, we can be in a state of worship 24 hours a day. If we have the right intentions, every step that you take, before you take it, you ask yourself, is Allah going to be pleased with me if I do this? Then you should do such actions, or you should stay away from those actions. And if your whole life is like that, then you're in a state of worship. Because everything that you're doing is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because you're checking to see if it's pleasing to Allah or not. And that's pretty much what worship is. And so when you're focused on the right things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes care of everything. You'll see everything coming into place. And so if you feel that your world is falling apart, remember this hadith in which the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من كان همه الآخرة جمع الله شمله وجعل غناه في قلبه وأتته الدنيا وهي باطلة. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whoever is concerned is the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will join his affairs. And He will put ghina, meaning your self-sufficiency. You feel self-sufficient, you feel pleased in your heart. But you'll be pleased inside. The dunya will come, whether He wants it or not. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of your affairs, take care of it. You're focused on the hereafter. When you're focused on the hereafter, you start to see reality. And also the problems that occur, little problems that you might think are really big, they become very small. And that's why the Prophet said, وَمَنْ كَانَتْ نِيَّتُهُ الدُّنْيَا. Whoever's focus is solely to dunya, بَرَّكَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَيَعْتَهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will disperse His affairs, all the things that He's looking for. He disperses it, which makes you busy in all kinds of matters. You're never going to be finished. All your affairs are all going to be dispersed all over, everywhere, all over the place. وَجَعَلَ فَقْرَهُ بَيْنَهُمْ. And poverty will be right in front of your eyes. The only thing you do is whatever you're doing, you're always going to be afraid of poverty. I'm going to be poor, I'm going to be poor, if I don't do this and that. That will be your main concern and your worries. And وَلَمْ يَأْتِهِ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَا كُتِبَ لَهُ. And there's nothing that will come from the dunya except for that which is already written for. And so this is a very, very important hadith, especially concerning when we're thinking about the dunya and the hereafter. Of course, a smart person will use this dunya. It's very short, but at the same time, it's very important because it will determine your success in this life and the hereafter. Because this is the time in which we build our akhirah. It's in this dunya. This is the time in which you plant your trees in the garden of paradise. This is where you build your house in the garden of paradise. And this is where we furnish our akhirah. And that's why this is the time for deeds. And that's why Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu said, "Irtahil ad-dunya muthi'ah." The dunya is going away. Like all of us, every day, every single day, we are 60 seconds, we're going at 60 seconds, we're closer to our death every single day, every single day. The life, the time that we have in this world decreases. We're that much closer to our death. But at the same time, we don't know where that end is, and it can end at any time. What was tahlit al-akhirah? And the hereafter is coming towards us. So we're all on a journey, and the hereafter is there. We're headed towards the hereafter. And every group, Ali ibn Abi Talib said, وَلِكُلِّ وَاحِدٍ مِنْهُمَا بَنُونَ. And the children, every one of them, the hereafter in this worldly life, there are children. There are children of the hereafter, and there are children of this life. فَكُونُوا مِنْ أَبْنَاءِ. Now be amongst the children of the hereafter. وَلَا تَكُونُوا مِنْ أَبْنَاءِ الدُّنْيَا. Do not be amongst the children of the dunya. فَإِنَّ الْيَوْمَ عَمْرٌ. Well, indeed today, is the day in which we do our deeds. وَلَا حِسَابٍ. There's no reckoning. And then the hereafter, the hereafter is hisab, is reckoning, and no one needs. So this is the time which we do it, when we put together and we do our deeds. And so, first of all, what are we concerned about in our daily lives? What do we do? Ask ourselves right now. So you find out whether you are amongst the children of the hereafter or amongst the children of this life, of the dunya. Ask yourself, what do you think about before you go to sleep? What do you think about before you go to sleep? What do you think about when you pray? What makes you sad? What makes you happy? What makes you angry? What are your goals? What do you ask for in your sujood? What kind of spouse are you looking for? What kind of friends do you hang around with? Like, ask yourself, what are you looking for? And if you were to, would you be embarrassed to show people your search history on Google? Would you be okay if everybody saw that? That's who you are. That's who you are. That's what you're concerned about. That's what you're concerned about. That's what you're thinking about. So are you amongst those of the children of the hereafter, or the children of Islam? And thus, when we ask, when you answer, give an answer to this question, then ask yourself, if you were in front of, if the hellfire is in front of you, and you're in that sirat. That sirat is that bridge over Jahannam that you cross. Some people will cross it like in a flash. Some people will cross it in a flash. Others will cross it like a person who's riding on a steed on a fast horse. Others will go cross, and some will fall and be grabbed by the hooks that come from the sides and then fall. How fast will you go if you are there? How fast? It is not based upon your acrobatic abilities. Just because you work for the circus does not mean you're going to cross the castle. No. It will be based upon your deeds. And how? It will also be based upon how you respond to Allah and His Messenger. The faster you are in responding to Allah and His Messenger, concerning your deeds, you're going to cross. And vice versa. So everybody right now, if you're in front of the sirat, check yourself right now. When it's time to pray, are you looking forward to it? Or are you looking forward to finishing the prayer? Are you looking forward to the prayer? Or are you always delaying when prayer time comes? Which takes precedence in your life? And so these are the things that affect our hereafter. And when we think about this worldly life, the whole world, this life is a test for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us in to test us, to see how our deeds are. And so, when a person is concerned about, whatever you're concerned about, when you're concerned about the hereafter, everything that bothers you, and every little thing that bothers maybe other people, it will not bother you so much. Let me give you an example. Imagine yourself in this masjid. You're sitting down, waiting for prayer. And three people come in, a father and two young kids. The father and two young kids walk into the masjid. And you're just sitting there. And all of a sudden you see the two children playing chase and they're running around in the masjid. That father goes in the back of the masjid, sits down, and he just sits there as if nothing is happening. His children are running around people. In fact, they're actually slapping people who are reading the Quran in the head. And so when you're looking, when you're seeing this whole scene, how do you feel? Who are you angry at? Are you irritated? Definitely. But you're looking at the father, and the father sees all of this. He knows his children are doing this, they're doing it right in front of his eyes. But he's not doing anything. I'm pretty sure everyone in the masjid at that time is probably looking at that father. Why isn't he doing anything? This is not the place, this is not the playground here. So you had enough. So you get up and you go straight to the father. And you say, excuse me, would you please looks at me and he says, I'm sorry, I really apologize. We just came from the hospital. Your mother just passed away. How do you feel? At that moment, before that you're really irritated, very angry. But as soon as he said that, how do you feel? You no longer are angry at him. And the children that are running around, you'll probably hug them, forgive them. You feel sorry for them because they don't know what has just happened. They will no longer see their mother. At the same time, they're still running around. They don't even know the severity of the situation. So when a person is thinking about the hereafter, that's why the Prophet said, whoever is concerned about the hereafter, all the little things that you think are big, they don't irritate you. They don't bother you. They don't faze you. That's why the Muslim is the strongest person. And determined, because all the little things don't faze you. Just like right before that, you were very angry, but when you think about that, now it's a difference. Nothing has changed. Physically, the children are still running around. And that man still hasn't said anything to his children. But you're no longer angry at them. Because you're thinking about something bigger. Something greater. So that's why sometimes, I have children. I have 3 sons. And sometimes I go to the store and I find out there are some Hot Wheels that are on sale. These are the bigger type Hot Wheels. They have the small ones and the bigger part, right? And then they're on sale, it's on sale. Let me get some for the kids, they'll be happy. So what I do, I end up choosing Ferrari, a Hummer, and I think it was, something like a Porsche or something. Anyways, Ferrari, Hummer, and a Porsche. Okay? Why? I could have chosen just all Ferraris, all Porsche, whatever it is, all the same. But you're thinking, hey, come on, if you're going to buy 3, right, you have to be just with them at the same time, it'd be wasteful to buy the exact same car. That's what I'm thinking, right? Might as well just get 3 different types, variety. Better than having the exact same thing. I can get the exact same thing easily. So I come home, right? And as I got each one of you a car, so the eldest one comes and takes the car. Takes the Ferrari. Okay. Then the youngest one comes and takes the Porsche. So the only thing that's left for the youngest one, or the middle one takes the Porsche, the only thing left is this ugly box car. The Hummer, right? It's pretty ugly. I don't know what to do. You understand? People like it because, hey, it's expensive and it's supposed to be this and that. But, it looks pretty ugly, right? I went to a child.